Happy Saturday, everyone. Normally I do this type of video on the 9th, but I forgot. And yesterday was the live stream, so today is Saturday. It's actually not. Today's still Friday. But I'm getting out for a walk. And I thought we'd go over my end of the month stuff, because I started carnivore on the 9th of May back in 2022. Yeah, back in May 9th. I'm going to continue on with the 9th of the month, and we're basically going to go over everything that I've gone through in this amount of time. The real purpose of today is to just get out here and take a walk. It's a beautiful day in Omaha, Nebraska. It's almost 30 degrees out. We got some light snow yesterday, but it's where the sun is hitting the sidewalks, it's cleared off. Where it's not, there's still that light dusting here. Let me turn the camera around, just sort of wait till that car goes so I don't get the car in the shot. But yeah, you can see I'll turn the camera around and show you the driveway across the street with the walkways and stuff. You can see we didn't really get a whole lot of snow, but it did stick to the driveways and sidewalks, and now the sun is melting most of it off. I have my boots on just in case. I didn't feel spikes were necessary for this little bit of stuff. But anyway, I would like to say hello to everybody. I am Semiretiredbob. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What you're watching is you're watching me walk. I know that doesn't seem exciting, but if you consider 2.5 years ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for a couple minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day. It gets a little bit more interesting. If you're returning to the channel, welcome back. It means a lot to me that you spend just a few moments of your day with me. This is Saturday's video, so it is time for weekly wins. Don't forget to drop down in the comments and tell me what your win for the week is. And while you're at it, you can hit that thumbs up button. Say hi, Bob. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. All of these things are absolutely free and help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I'm 61 years old, and I'm doing things I couldn't do when I was 40. Oh. While I finish going up this first long hill, I would like to remind everybody to stay hydrated. When it's hot out, we get a really good reminder because we get hot and sweaty and we feel thirsty. But when you're walking on cold days, the humidity outside might be 60%. But then by the time you breathe that air in and the air warms up inside you, that humidity level drops quickly. So you can dehydrate in the cold without even realizing you're getting dehydrated. I always carry I know microplastics and all that, but I do carry a bottle of water with me. When I go on these walks. Because staying hydrated is important. But anyway, for those of you that have not heard my story before, and I'm sure there's a few of you, I was sitting in my trailer, which is my little 5x10 camper cargo trailer conversion. I was sitting for 6 full months, less than 30 minutes from some of the most beautiful beaches in the world in North Carolina, and never saw any of them. The next year I did end up seeing the nearby state park quite a bit because I went out for hikes there, but that's getting ahead of the story. Before, it was just a few days before I was getting ready to load up and head back to Ohio to visit my sister and my mom before I headed back to Omaha for the summer. And I still believe to this day, because I've always been a travel and tourism, van life, photography, that kind of a consumer of YouTube videos. That's just what I watched. You know, I followed Chrome over at Van City Van Life. I followed, Peter McKinnon and Devin Jovey. I think that's how you say his name. Camera Conspiracies. You have to kind of overlook his other channel because he also runs a channel called The Vegetable Police. But he doesn't let any of that get into his camera videos. His Camera Conspiracies channel is actually very funny. But anyway, that's the kind of stuff I watched. And I truly believe that God reached into my computer and said, this is the video you need to watch. Because I was somewhere between 340 and 350 pounds, just miserable. I could barely move. I could barely stand. I was basically just sitting around waiting to die. And up pops this video by Dante Ferrigno. And I forget exactly what it was titled. It was like 125 days on the lion diet. I didn't know what the heck the lion diet was, but I watched his video and his results were amazing. But then I saw how much meat he was eating, and I got discouraged because the thing that led to all of my problems was gout. I was kicked out of the Army in 1983 because I have gout. And gout attacks were the primary cause of me slowly gaining weight over the next 30 plus years. Because we knew as fact at that time, all you had to do to lose weight was to eat less and move more. That's all there was to it. But of course, every time I tried to do the move more part of that equation, I'd have a gout attack, and it would put me further behind because I would have to sit around and do nothing for a week or two because I couldn't stand up. And I just slowly, over the course of time, sank deeper and deeper into bad health. But I got discouraged watching Dante's video because I saw that it worked, but I had been told by multiple doctors over the course of the years that eating too much red meat was the cause of gout. I knew that as fact. In fact, I talked about it, I think, in one or two of my very early videos on this channel, back when I was trying to be a photographer, YouTuber. But, we just knew as fact that meat caused gout. But because I had watched that Dante video, a Dr. Ken Berry video popped up. And I was watching him, and a lot of what he was saying made sense. But I, of course, can't follow his plans because I have gout. But then I noticed that he had a live stream coming up that night. So it must have been a Monday, because that's when he does his live streams. And I said, well, what the heck? I'll go ask a question. Well, little did I realize how popular he is. I sat down and logged in, and I was there about 15 minutes before it started. And there were already, 1,700, 2,000 people there waiting for his live stream. But because I was there, I dutifully typed in my question, knowing it was never going to get answered. I said, I have gout. I can't eat a lot of meat. Is there a version of this diet I can do? Now, if I had known it was going to be this successful, I would have written the girl's name down. I do know it was either Mitzi or Paola, which are the two, at the time, were the two female moderators on his channel. I don't remember which, but they sent me back a message that said, Bob, meat does not cause gout. It's an inflammatory disorder. Go watch Dr. Berry's gout videos. And I thought, wow, this person's crazy. What do you mean meat doesn't cause gout? I've known as fact for 40 years that meat causes gout. And I watched his gout video, and I watched another of his gout videos. And then I watched just some more of his regular carnivore videos. And I thought, man, this just can't be right. It goes against everything I've ever learned. Well, I decided I was going to give it a try. I haven't done anything. I remember I was sitting in one of the most beautiful places in the world and didn't get to see any of it because I couldn't get out of my trailer. So I thought, well, what have I got to lose? The worst that can happen is this diet kills me. So I didn't think it was fair to my sister, because I was all hooked up and ready to go the next day, heading to my sister's. I didn't think it was fair to call my sister up, who had already done all of the grocery shopping for my visit, and say, I'm going to change my diet, so you need to go back to the grocery store, and this is what I'll eat. That's not fair. So I have to be a little careful. I'm going down that really steep hill on the backside because I'm planning on going around a bigger block today. We'll see how this goes. But just in case there's a little bit of slippery on this big hill, I don't want to fall and break my butt. So I visit with my sister, and I knew I was driving home on May the 8th. So I drove home on May the 8th. I went home, and of course there was no food in the house because I'd been gone for 6 months. I went out to the grocery store, and bought just all carnivore foods, thinking, okay, I'm going to give this a try. So I started on May the 9th. Now, I don't recommend anymore just jumping right in, because I think part of why I had sudden and explosive bathroom issues for, it was several weeks, and then I was still loose for quite a bit of time. I think it was a couple of months. But it's because I didn't do a transition. I just jumped right in. So I don't really recommend that. Now, if you've got, a couple of months where you don't have to leave the house, go ahead, jump right in. Because just understand those first few weeks, it's going to be very hard to get more than a few steps away from the bathroom. But I tried it. I made my first carnivore video basically because at the time my 25 subscribers were all friends and family, and I decided to put up a YouTube video, Semiretiredbob Goes Carnivore, just as a way for the people that I know. There's a truck coming, so I'm just going to sit here and wait. I know, the best way to contact them all, to let them know what I'm doing, was to just make a video about it. And I didn't really think much about it. That's why I've always said 330 was my starting weight, even though I suspect it was 350 or more, because I didn't jump right on the scale. I didn't expect it to work. I was just hoping for a little bit of pain relief, because at the time I couldn't stand up for more than a couple of minutes without severe pain. And I had thought, well, if I can get to the point where I can stand and move for 4.5 to 5 minutes, then my life would be that much better. I could get back to going out to the zoo and walk from bench to bench to see the zoo and maybe take some pictures again. Then I was sitting down to record my 29 pounds in 29 days video, because I noticed that my clothes were getting looser. And I thought, wow, I'm really losing some weight here. So I sat down to record a video called 29 pounds in 29 days. I think that's what it was. And I had set up my camera on the dining room table, but I left my note sheet off to the left, out of reach. And I just reached over and grabbed it. And as I'm reading over my notes, I realized what I'd done. My left shoulder was always one of my most arthritic joints. And prior to carnivore, I would have had to turn in my chair and bend way over to reach out and grab that paper, as opposed to just reaching out and grabbing it. And that was my aha moment. I couldn't believe my shoulder moved that much that well. I thought, wow, this is really working. And the rest I have talked about a lot on this channel. My type 2 diabetes is gone. My chronic kidney disease is gone. My fatty liver disease is gone. I have not had a single gout attack since starting this way of eating. I've had, was taking 13 pills in the morning, 9 at night, plus pain pills throughout the day just to get through the day. And now I don't take any of that stuff. My arthritis is, I still don't say it's healed, because if I turn a little too quickly in the wrong way, I still feel a little twinge from certain joints. Same thing with my back and my spinal stenosis. It's about 98 to 99% healed. I think I'll probably always have a little bit of arthritis pain and a little bit of spinal stenosis pain. I notice the spinal stenosis the most when I lay down in bed for the night. It takes me a few moments, because when I first lay down flat, it makes my back hurt just a little bit. So I have to kind of jostle around a little bit to find the position that doesn't hurt so I can fall asleep. But that's really all I've noticed. I mean, back in the day, I'd wake up a couple of times a night and pop another pain pill just to finish sleeping. And I don't have to do any of that anymore. It's been pretty amazing. And then, of course, on that fateful day, September the 1st, I got the brilliant idea to go out for a short walk. And that's when I started talking about 1% better. And look at where we are today. Where are we today? Oh, okay. I sort of know where we are. That was quite the walk already. But I'm going to go ahead and, I think I've rambled on for enough for now. It's, oh my gosh, 22 minutes of recording. So I'm sorry I rambled on so much, guys. Let's go ahead and flip the camera around, get some music going as I head back to the house. Cut the music. You want to know the secret to getting a really good walk in on a day like today? You remember back just before the music, I said, oh, I know where I'm at. I did not know where I was at. So the secret to a really good walk is to just get out there and get lost. So that you have to turn up and down streets till you finally figure out where you're at. I'm now walking back down that long hill that I usually start with. I'm gonna have to look up on the map when I get home and see exactly where I went, because that was about a 3-mile trek, and it had a lot of uphill and downhill to it, which hurts a little bit at the time. I can tell I'm tired now, because coming down this long hill I start with, I won't say my knees hurt, but I can feel the pressure that hits your knees as you're going downhill. Been a long time since I got lost on a walk. And I apologize for the noise, but both neighbors' dogs are out, and they don't like this orange coat, or they just don't like me, I don't know, but they're barking their heads off. But yeah, my biggest regret is that I didn't write down whether it was Mitzi or Paola that turned me on to the gout videos by Dr. Barry, because at this point I really owe them a lot. I owe Dante Ferrigno a lot. Hopefully one day we can get together and chat about stuff and things. I owe Dr. Barry a lot, and his wife, Nurse Nisha. I actually, at my 1-year anniversary, so if you go back and look at the Carnivore Conversations playlist, I believe it's called Interviews or something, I had a sit down via the internet with Dr. Barry. But I would like to thank him again too. And for all of you out there that think you might need a little bit of support, before you go spend a bunch of money on somebody else, I've mentioned this before. Dr. Barry's private group is $5, and that gives you access to everyone and everything. There's a few chats you don't get to be in on, but those are just among those of us who pay him a little more each month. But $5 a month gets you access to his email, message system, message nurse Anisha, and he has a lot of moderators. It's hard to find a time when there isn't at least one moderator hanging around looking at the chat. But again, it's Saturday, so drop down in the comments and tell me what your weekly win was. Mine, of course, just happened. I followed my own advice. Somewhere in that sped up section, you saw me set my camera down. I got my water bottle out of my coat pocket and drank some water to make sure I stay hydrated. And I walked a lot farther than I had initially thought I was going to, but it's good to get out there and get lost sometimes. To know that even if you're walking farther than you thought you were going to, that Carnivore has made it so that you can keep going. I can tell I've walked quite a ways today because my legs were a little tired. I'm going to go and sit down, and then we'll see what the weather does. Maybe I'll get back out and do some more this afternoon. Penn State failed to achieve victory last night. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this, which will be Saturday, my Buckeyes have beaten Texas, but we'll see. But anyway, hopefully some of what I said today made a little bit of sense. Hopefully some of what I'm doing will inspire you to get out and do 1% better, or just keep going, because by the time you see this, it'll be day 11 of the World Carnivore Month. So just keep pushing forward, guys. That's what I've got for you today. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.